Hey friends, Russ here having more Daisy Lever gun fun, and we got a whole project going on here on the workbench. And let me show you something about what we're doing. Well, if you look at this, this is a Model 95, which in all other respects looks normal, but you look at the front end and there's been about 5 inches cut off of it. We're going to make one of these short super carbines, but instead of using the original shot tube, what I want to do is put one of the force-fed shot tubes from a Model 25. That would be one like this. Unfortunately, it's going to be if it's about a 1/4 inch too long naturally, it's going to be way too long. So what I've done here is taken one of the Model 25 force feds and made an abbreviated version of it. To do this, could have done it one of two ways. Could have either taken the cap off and reconfigured what we have left by cutting 5 inches off that end, actually 5 1/8 in this particular case, or I could have taken the end off that screws into the abutment and made my alterations from the bottom inside upwards by the same distance. What I chose to do in this particular case was work on the muzzle end of it. So if you look here on the original, there is a little roll pin in here that drives its way and holds everything together inside. Okay, let me give a better look at this. It's kind of hard to see because of the black paint on everything, but that's how it feeds into it. A little bit easier to see maybe on the abbreviated one here. Okay. So what you find is when you take the muzzle off, you run that roll pin out, you drive it out with a drift, and you take the cap off. What you end up with is this. This is what covers, or is what is covered by the muzzle. Okay, and your roll pin goes through the muzzle cap and through this little hole here, and that's what holds everything together. So what we had to do is, this is a 5 1/8 shield, which I took down. What you see, this little piece sticking out is the actual shot tube. Okay. And that also had to be shortened accordingly. This is how it fits. It sticks out about that far into the muzzle plug. And what is missing here from this abbreviated version is the hole that feeds the BBs and the notch, which whenever you pull back the little spring-held feeder, the follower, it goes into that notch and holds itself open. Okay? So those are now missing from the abbreviated one. So we had to reproduce those. And what I chose to do here was use a Dremel and do some cutting on it. I also had to reproduce that little hole in the front so I could repin the muzzle in place. So we drilled that through, and unfortunately I ruined the little pin that goes in there. It's very thin, very easy to distort, and I kind of ruined it. So what I had to do was recreate that pin. I didn't have one of that size, so I used a piece of steel and made a small drift to put through there. It's holding everything in place pretty well. I used the Dremel to cut the notch so that the follower, after putting it back in, is able to sit. And one of the things I did, which you may be able to see, is instead of cutting it square front to back, this is on a little bit of an angle, and that helps to retain that follower in place while you're filling it. I re-drilled the hole here And in losing about 5 or 5 1/8 of an inch in length on this, we're losing capacity for the BBs. So we're going to have a lot fewer BBs being fed in here. I think the original shot tube held around 50. This is going to hold probably less, maybe about 20, 25 comfortably inside of this force-fed shot tube. And it will fit at the right length inside of the outer barrel of this Model 95. Get this right in here, and you get it screwed in, and it's just about where we want it, right there. Has a little bit of a relief on it so it's not smashing the end, and that's just about perfect for this this little super carbine that we're putting together. So if you ever wanted to do this, I've done it both ways. I've taken these back ends off, and I've abbreviated that, cut it up this way, and you have to do less configuring on this side. I chose to do it this way for this particular project, though. Also, you probably will have to shorten the spring that follower is held in place by. They call this the follower because it follows the ammunition up to the firing area. Okay? Well, folks, here it is. If you get a chance, and if you've ever done any of these before, maybe you've done some alterations that are similar, let us know about it. Put a notation in here. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like the videos, and we'll be talking to you soon. Have a great night and stay safe.